Hey everybody, this is Tim. I'm the editor over at Manager's Resource Handbook, where you can visit us on the web and find all sorts of tools, tips, and articles pertaining to managing teams and leading in today's business environment. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how you can build a skills matrix for your team. So we've got a fictitious example here that we're going to walk through. So first of all, what is a skills matrix? A skills matrix is a tool. Okay, it's a tool that helps you assess your team's ability to perform its duties. Now, an effective skills matrix should be simple and easy to use and apply. It should be periodically updated, say every year or two, depending on what's appropriate for your team. It should rate the skill level of each employee across various job parameters. It should provide guidelines for what it takes for an employee to be ranked at the next level. It should clearly identify your team's strengths and where there may be weaknesses or gaps. An effective skills matrix should help you identify areas where development or training may be needed for a specific employee or a group of employee. It should help you assign work based on the criticality of a task. And it should help you make employee development decisions. Okay, so a skills matrix is a tool that helps you do these types of things. Now here's the basic example that we created. Okay, you can see we've got the names of the employees in the upper left, their job title, the region, North America and India in this case, an averaged score for each employee. Across the top, we have a number of different skills and pieces of knowledge that we identified as critical to these jobs. And then towards the bottom left, you'll see a ranking system that was used to provide each score. Okay. Now, in the yellow box there, you see we've got the names of each employee and the job title, as I said, but I've highlighted the word balanced. It's important to have a balanced set of skills, not just technical skills, but things like professional skills to help provide a bit more of a well-rounded assessment of each employee. So you'll notice in the upper left-hand corner, we said this rating was done by T. Watson, the accounting manager. It's always good to list who does the assessment. Inevitably, you will come back to this and you'll forget how the scores were put in there. If you're a new manager to a team, you may want to have the employees score themselves. If you've been around for a while, you can certainly do it yourself. You may want to have the employees rate themselves and then you review and make any adjustments that you see fit. So it's always good to just kind of state who did the assessment just so that you can go back and you know where the numbers came from in the future. So as I said, in this case, we've broken up our skills into two categories. We've broken them up into professional skills and software knowledge. This is a bit more of a balanced approach. You can certainly break it into more categories, whatever you see as appropriate for the work you do. But you want to, again, make sure it's balanced. You want to include things like soft skills, like we did here for professional skills, to make sure that it's, because those are all parts of an employee's effectiveness. And you want to make sure you're looking at a larger subset of scoring. So things like communication, for example, every employee needs to communicate. Every employee needs to make a presentation at some point in time. So you want to make sure you include some of those types of things in your skills assessment. In this example that we made up, we broke our skills matrix into two categories. We identified and we grouped the skills of the North American employees and the employees in India. It's just a great way to kind of understand and compare different teams within your overall department. But there are other ways you can classify skills and create subsets of groupings of employees. For example, you could create groups by job title. You could create groups by department if you manage multiple departments. And you could create some groupings by project or program depending on what you see as most appropriate. In this example, we also averaged the scores by employee. Generally speaking, your more experienced employees should score higher, and your more junior and newer employees should score lower. But the general average is just a a way to kind of calibrate and make sure that the numbers feel appropriate and make sense. It also helps you kind of identify your strongest employees and those that need some more experience and time to improve their skills. In this example, we also looked at the average of the skill scores by skill and by region to help identify the team's overall strengths and weaknesses. So, by looking at it from different skills, you can understand which skills your team's really good at, and by region, it helps compare again two different teams and maybe two different groups of employees. So in this example, the scores for planning suggest that this is a stronger skill for the entire team and is something that your employees do well. By contrast, if you look at, say, Adobe Editing, it looks to be a lower score across the board. It looks to be a more common weakness across your entire team. So you may want to consider providing some sort of training for this skill if it's something that is really critical to your function. Now, if you look at the Visual Basic scores, you'll notice that the team in India is better with Visual Basic than your North American team. So this could be an area for training for your North American team if it's something that they really need to do. Or if it's something that's maybe not as common, perhaps you just simply try to concentrate that sort of work with your team in India since they're better and more efficient at using that piece of software. Finally, in this example, you will notice that we listed a ranking system. One of the most important parts of a skills matrix is a clear and well-defined ranking system. You can use any sort of scoring that you prefer, but the key is to identify what it takes to achieve and be given each score, right? So if you have an employee who ranks as, say, 3, demonstrating in some task or skill, you want to be able to tell them and help, shape their development to improve that skill. So what if you don't have a definition for what a 3 is, then how do you distinguish between a 3 or a 4? So you'll notice in the far right column of that ranking system, we've listed some sort of traits and characteristics of what it takes to be ranked at a given number. Okay, so there you go. You can download this template as an example for you from our website for free. Just go to the Tools and Templates page. So thank you very much. My name's Tim. Again, I'm the editor over at managersresourcehandbook.com. Feel free to visit us on the web and send us an email with any questions you may have. Thanks.